Welcome, everyone. We are going to start in just a couple minutes and give a few folks a couple more minutes chance to get back in. In the meantime, please enjoy this short video on our athletics program at Salesian. High school sports is very important to a person's development because it teaches life lessons. For example, it teaches discipline, work ethic, how to deal with success, and how to deal with failure. Salesian is a college preparatory school, and we take our athletics as seriously as we take our academics. Many of our student athletes have gone on to further their success in college and the professional sports world. In addition to our outstanding record of success in athletics, we feel that it is important that every student has an opportunity to participate and grow. 80% of our freshmen participate in a sport. Nothing is more rewarding as a coach than to see someone who is a beginner as a freshman excel as a senior.
Joining a club is a great way of bringing people together. When I was a student at Salesian, I created the Salsa Club with the support of my music teacher, Mr. Hogan. When I came back as a math teacher, I was so happy to see the club was still going strong. Now I moderate the club together with Mr. Hogan, and it's been so fun to share our love for salsa dancing with our students. Salesian has a wide variety of student clubs that allow our students to explore their interests. We have cultural clubs that bring awareness and appreciation to our diverse student body. We have clubs that focus on social justice and the environment for those students that want to become catalysts for change. There's a club for everyone, no matter what you are interested in, and if there isn't a club for something you are passionate about, then you can always create one. Experience the power of community at Salesian.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Open House Series webinar. This is the fifth and final webinar in our Open House series over 3 consecutive Sundays. We've had 4 previous webinars. The first one was on our STEM program. The second one focused on our English, social sciences, and world languages departments. The third one was on our visual and performing arts programs. And the fourth one, held a little earlier today, focused on faith, our campus ministry, retreats, and student leadership, among other things. All of those can be viewed currently on our school website, salesian.com, under the admissions section. During today's webinar, this one, we will be highlighting our athletics and clubs. My name is Bill Mellis. I am the PE department chair and boys varsity basketball coach, and I'd like to welcome you today. I grew up in Santa Cruz, and after attending high school, I went to UC Berkeley. After UC Berkeley, I came straight to Salesian, where I have been a teacher and coach. This is my 23rd year here at Salesian, and I know I'm speaking along with all the other longtime teachers who say that, you know, the reason why we keep coming back, to be honest, is the atmosphere here at Salesian. It is not only is our student body diverse, but it's a great student body. They're very close. There's a family atmosphere. The relationship between the students and the faculty is amazing. And you know, the faculty, it's like a second family for all of us. And so we're happy to be here and to continue teaching here. Today, you're going to be hearing from a handful of people. You're going to be hearing from 3 faculty members, some of whom are coaches. We'll get to that part later. You'll be hearing from Miss Megan Bradbury. She teaches English and ESL. She's also the girls varsity soccer coach, as well as the softball coach. You'll be hearing from Miss Letia Martin. She is a math teacher, and she's our senior class moderator. And you'll be hearing from Mr. Chad Nightingale. He is our science department chair, our athletic director, and our head coach for both football and track and field. Also today, we have numerous students who will be with us. You'll be hearing from all of these students. You'll be hearing from 2 sophomores from the class of 2023, Brianna and Tyler. There are 4 juniors today from the class of 2022. They are Shania, Laith, Natalia, and Christian. And you'll be hearing from 3 seniors from this year's senior class of 2021, Dylan, Alyssa, and Jeremiah. Also, you'll be hearing from Isabel, Izzy as we know her. She graduated last year in the class of 2020, and she currently attends Franciscan University of Steubenville. All of these students are amazing, and you'll see that as you get to hear from them today. Also today, we have Ms. Christina Carabinas. She is our Director of Admissions. Although she will not be talking today, you might see her picture off on the side on your screen. She's handling all of our tech stuff today. She's handling our PowerPoints and videos and things of that nature. And also, I wanted to mention Miss Rebecca Mengel. She is our registrar and our admissions coordinator. These are the 2 people that will help you through the admissions process as you apply to Salesian and go through these next few months. They will be here to answer all your questions and get you all situated with all the steps through that process. Also, I want to mention that today during our webinar, you might obviously have some questions. Feel free to type your questions to us. For those who are new to Zoom, the way you can ask your questions is by clicking on the Q&A button at the bottom of your Zoom screen and typing your question. We have a lot of people attending today's webinar, and that means there'll probably be a lot of questions. We will try our best to answer all of them. Now, normally we would be having open house in person, and in the gym, all of the coaches of the various sports and some of our student athletes would be there to greet you and talk to you. Here you can see some of the pictures from last year's open house. Unfortunately, with the pandemic, we have had to have our open house online this year, as you know, but we do hope to see you hopefully very soon in person. At Salesian, we have 13 sports. Those sports are broken down into 3 seasons: fall, winter, and spring. Today, you will hear about each of these sports. Athletics at Salesian is very popular. Year in and year out, over 80% of our freshmen play a sport. We have been very successful. Our athletic programs have been very successful as we have won 4 state championships. Some high schools go through their history not winning any. We've been lucky enough to win 4, 2 in boys basketball, 1 in track and field. And most recently, as you may or may not know, last year, our football team won its first ever state championship. So congratulations to Mr. Nightingale. The last thing I want to say before we move forward is that as successful as we've been in athletics, there's also a lot of opportunities for newcomers and people that are maybe not as good as a sport as they think, or some kids that want to try a sport for a first time. In addition to having varsity and JV teams, we also have freshman teams. And as I mentioned earlier, 80% of our freshmen play a sport, and there are tremendous opportunities for incoming freshmen to try a new sport or be placed on a freshman team if they're trying it for the first time, or if their maybe skills need to be brushed up on, and then they can work their way up to JV and to varsity. So there's all kinds of opportunities in our sports program. Moving forward now, I'd like to introduce Mr. Chad Nightingale. He's going to talk about our fall sports. As I mentioned earlier, Mr. Nightingale is our science department chair. He is our athletic director, and he is our head coach for not only our track and field team, but also our football team. As I mentioned not too shortly ago, they won their first ever state championship last season. It was a very exciting time and probably the biggest event that took place, maybe outside of the pandemic, out of the school year. He's going to talk about our fall sports, and so here is Coach Nightingale.
Thanks, Coach Mellish. I appreciate it. Welcome to everybody who's here. Just to echo the sentiments from Coach Mellish, I'm sorry I don't have an opportunity to meet you folks in person. Obviously, if you're familiar with the school, we have an outstanding shadow program. And if you were to call Miss Mangle or Miss Carabinas, they would be able to set you up with a tour of the campus. And I would encourage all of you to come on in and not only see the school, the main building, and all of the rest of the grounds, but also many of our facilities where our kids are competing. As Mr. Mellis mentioned, our sports are divided into 3 seasons: the fall, the winter, and the spring. Although this year with the pandemic, it's a little different, and we can talk about that later. In the fall, we offer 4 sports. We offer cross country, we offer girls tennis, we offer girls volleyball, we have football, and then we also have cheerleading. One of the things that is just absolutely outstanding about being at a school like Salesian, and unlike Coach Mellis, who's younger than I am, I've actually been at Salesian now for 28 years. So I'm kind of the senior member on the athletic staff. But what is wonderful is that when you look at the size of our school, when you start counting the total number of athletes that are involved in athletics, our numbers exceed just over 70% participation. It's very high with the freshmen, as Coach Mellis mentioned, upwards of 80%. But overall, when you look at the 3 seasons of sport, we'll get well over 300 students participating. So it is an outstanding opportunity for our young people to meet one another, to learn how to compete, to learn how to function as a team, and really to not only build lifelong memories, but to build lifelong friendships. And I think maybe one of the greatest strengths of our school and our athletic program are those very things that those kids build together. And I think I can speak for Coach Mellis and probably all of the other coaches. One of the things that is wonderful about our school is the fact that our alums come back to help coach. You're going to hear from Coach Bradbury. They come to watch our games. They come to be a part of our programs well after they graduate. I could go on and on talking, but we definitely have some young people that we'd like you to hear from, that we're going to talk a little bit about the sports that are involved in the fall. And I'm going to start with cheer and Tyler Thompson.
Hello, my name is Tyler and I'm a sophomore at Salesian. I play a few sports, but today I'll be talking about cheer. So our team cheers for 2 sports, football and basketball. So it spans across 2 seasons, but especially if you're playing a different sport during one of those seasons, there's no pressure to do both. And what's great about cheer is there's no experience necessary to join the team because the coaches are just wonderful, not only at teaching you chants, dances, tumbling, and stunts, but also helping you build your confidence to be able to perform those things during a game in front of a crowd. So I'll just hand it over to the next person.
Hi, my name is Christian Harris. I'm a junior at Salesian and I participate in many different sports, but the one I'm going to talk about today is football. I love the football program because Mr. Nightingale pushes us to do our best no matter what it is we may be doing. And one thing that he always emphasizes to us is to participate in more than one sport because you never know what could happen during your season, what may end it, or what you may do to even make it better. And I feel like I followed his words and took it to heart because I also participate in the baseball and basketball programs at Salesian. So yeah, thank you.
Hello, I am Brianna. I also play many sports, but the sport that I'm going to be talking about today is tennis. Something I really enjoyed about tennis was just meeting new people. Coming into Salesian, I didn't really have as many friends. And so playing a sport really helped me make new friends. And it was really rewarding because now we're all just one great big team that is very motivated toward one goal. And so I definitely recommend doing a sport. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Natalia and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the volleyball program. I've been playing for the last 2 years, both on JV, and let me just tell you, my experience with volleyball has been nothing but a blessing. Our relationship as a team and our bond has really shown on the court, especially last season. As some of you might know, our rival is St. Mary's, so we did beat them twice last year, which was a big deal. But it's been nothing but a blessing. I would never trade it for anything. And as a couple other people have said, you don't need experience to try out. Just give it your all. Come show us what you got, and we'll see. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. My name is Laith, and I'll be talking to you about cross country. I think one of the great things about it is just kind of how dynamic it is, because running doesn't just extend into how you prepare for other sports, but also it's just a great way to stay healthy and in shape. And it doesn't matter if you're looking to run competitively or you just want to learn some fitness tips, you're always welcome to come train with the team, no matter what. They're all just a really encouraging and inspiring group of people. So, and I just started on the team last year. So just getting to know all of them, I'm just really happy and proud that I can say I'm on a team like that. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, you guys. It was really good to hear from the kids. It's actually nice to see them, as you might very well imagine, being in virtual school. The only opportunity we get to see our kids now is when we see them on the screen. So thanks a lot. It was really nice to hear from all of you. And our season for the fall this year, in the midst of the pandemic, will actually start on December 7th. So hopefully you now have a basic idea of what happens at Salesian College Preparatory during the fall. What I'd like to do is to bring back Coach Mellis, who will talk to you a little bit about the four teams, the 2 basketball and the 2 soccer teams that compete during the winter. Coach Mellis.
Thank you, Coach Nightingale. As Coach Nightingale said, next we're going to move on to our winter sports, which are boys and girls basketball, boys and girls soccer. Since I coach basketball, I will talk about that. But first, to talk about soccer, I'd like to introduce Miss Megan Bradbury. Coach Bradbury, as I mentioned earlier, teaches English. She also teaches ESL to our international students. In addition, she is the head coach of our girls soccer team and the head coach of our softball team. Coach Bradbury is a graduate of Salesian from the class of 2015. She played soccer and softball during her time at Salesian, and after graduating from Salesian, she continued her athletic career in softball at UC Davis and has now returned to Salesian as a first-year teacher and coach. Here is Coach Bradbury.
Hello, thank you, Coach Mellis, for that introduction. I'm super grateful to be back at Salesian and to be able to work with the students in the classroom as well as the female athletes on the field. As a female coach, I just want to reinforce to the female athletes that there's just as much opportunities and the ceilings are just as high for the girls to accomplish their goals. At Salesian, I always felt that that was the case. The coaches pushed me, the athletic department supported me. And so as a goal for when I come back, and I am back, but when I start coaching the girls soccer and softball teams, is that just, I want to reinforce to the female athletes that they can reach their goals and they'll have the support to do so. As for the soccer programs for the boys and girls teams, Coach Joe Bacchus and Coach Joe actually was the soccer coach at Salesian when I was here as well. We continue to continue the success of the programs. The girls soccer team in specific are 2-time TCAL Stone champions back to back these last 2 years. So I hope to continue that success this year. In general, my coaching style is very fundamental based and effort based. I believe you have to practice fundamentals properly in order to get better. I am also very based on accountability. So you have to be on time and you have to be team oriented. So those are some of the skills and effort-based ideas that I would like to instill into my athletes when I start working with them. I also like to assess the mental aspects of the game and like to ask my athletes questions on why they're doing certain things, what do the drills address, and so they're gaining knowledge and developing overall as a whole athlete. And just from my experience as a college athlete, I do believe that preseason training is drastically important. And so I am working with Coach Nightingale on installing a preseason training program for soccer and softball specifically, and we will be getting started with that very soon. There's a couple students, actually, if you have any questions about soccer, please leave it in the chat box, and after the presentation, I will do my best to answer them. Coach Mellis.
All right, thank you, Coach Bradbury.
Yep.
I will now talk briefly about our boys and girls basketball programs. First of all, our girls basketball program has been outstanding. Coach Pizzola, many of you might know him, He's also our school president, is the girls basketball coach, and for the past 10 years, they have been one of the top teams in the country since he took over. In boys basketball, we have won 2 state championships in 2009 and 2012. As the head coach, I've been blessed to coach many great players and have an amazing coaching staff. There's just under 20,000 high school boys varsity teams in the country, and 8 out of the last 10 years, our team at the end of the season was ranked in the top 100 in the country, including the last 5 years in a row. Our school is a college prep school, and so we run our basketball program as a college prep basketball program as well. That means we have things like team meals, film sessions, road trips, study halls, all the things that our student athletes would experience in a college basketball program. And quite honestly, it's paid off. In my 22 years as head coach, we've had around 50 of our former players play college basketball on some level, whether that's JC, Division II, Division I, whatever. 2 have played in the NBA, and close to 20 have played professionally overseas in other countries. And while we do a great job, I think, preparing kids to go on and play college basketball, we also have tremendous opportunities for incoming freshmen. As I mentioned earlier, not only do we have a freshman and JV team, but we also have not only do we have a varsity and a JV team, but we also have a freshman team. And we've had a handful of kids play freshman or JV basketball and work their way up to having very successful varsity experiences after that. We have 2 students who are going to talk about their experiences playing basketball. The first is Jeremiah. He will talk about boys basketball, followed by Izzy, and she will talk about her experience playing girls basketball. So here is Jeremiah.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Jeremiah Jones. I'm a senior at Salesian College Preparatory, and I'm going to be talking about the boys basketball team. To me, the most important thing and the thing that sticks out to me about the boys basketball team is how Coach Mills creates a family organization, and how he doesn't just focus on basketball, it's everyday life. Whether we're doing community service, going to team meals, it's not just about basketball and what we can accomplish. It's about growing into men and going outside of our communities and making everything a better place. That's about it.
Like mentioned before, my name is Izzy. I'm a recent graduate of Salesian. Just a little bit about myself. For my first 2 years, I played 3 sports. So if you're interested in playing a sport for the fall, winter, and spring season, it's definitely doable. And I definitely recommend it just to experience a new sport. But today I'm going to be talking about basketball. I've been part of the basketball program for 4 years. My first 2 years as a player and my last 2 years as a fan due to injury. But something that I love about the basketball program is the community aspect, like Jeremiah said. Just the whole family aspect of it was truly a blessing. They not only want you to be a better person on the court, but also a better person off the court, and including your academics, because first and foremost, you are a student athlete. So they want to push you in school and also outside of school. And as long as you go out in the community, it's truly amazing. And because of the basketball program, I was able to elevate myself, and I'm now part of my school's Division III basketball program, and I'm hoping to, take what I've learned at Salesian and take it with me here at Franciscan.
Thank you so much, Isabel, and thank you, Jeremiah. By the way, both of them are basically 4.0 students. Izzy was, and Jeremiah is. So there's plenty of opportunities not only to play sports, but still to keep your grades in check, and both of them are great examples of that. Okay, I'd like to now call upon Coach Nightingale to come back on, and he's going to talk about our spring sports. He's also going to talk about our athletic facilities and our athletic trainer. Here is, once again, Coach Nightingale.
Thanks, Coach Mellis. I appreciate it. Thanks to the young people. Thanks, Coach Bradbury. It's nice to hear from you guys. The spring season is definitely our busiest at Salesian. During that time, we have 7 different sports occurring. We have baseball, and I'm very excited to introduce Tino Leet, who will be our new head baseball coach. He'll replace Nick Boyette, who has returned to the college ranks as a graduate assistant, where he'll earn a master's degree. So Tino is also a Salesian grad like Megan and many of our coaches. So we're really looking forward to him leading our baseball program this year. We also have softball. We'll hear from Coach Bradbury about that. We have boys volleyball in the spring. We have golf. We have swimming. We have track and field, and we have boys tennis. It's very exciting in the spring because obviously the days get longer. As we all know, we woke up this morning to a bright day because the clocks were set back. Of course, that also means that for those of us that are doing any sports in the wintertime, our days are real short, and practices will be ending at roughly 5 o'clock. So the spring is a very exciting time. There's always a lot of energy that surrounds that season. It's obviously a time for graduation. So for many of our seniors, it's their last opportunity to compete in a Salesian uniform, to be in among their friends, and to just be able to enjoy their final days at the school and on campus. So what I'd like to do now is to bring back Coach Bradbury to have her discuss a little bit about softball. And then from there, we're going to hear from a couple of students in the spring sports. So Coach Bradbury.
Thank you, Coach Nightingale. The softball program has had a long history of successful teams. The legacy coach, Coach Dolores Bonds, was at Salesian for over 20 years. She was my coach. And while I was at Salesian, we actually went to the NCS championship game 3 out of my 4 years, and we won 2 championships back to back in 2013 and 2014. As I went on to play in college, I would always come back to Salesian and train preseason, postseason training. And looking back at that softball field always made me miss high school softball. So it's really awesome being back and to be able to coach at Salesian. The athletic department's goals, and my goal in general, is to bring us back to that championship mentality, to get us back into those championship games. And we have great facilities. We use the softball field for soccer during the winter, but when it's softball season, our facilities management crew, they set up a nice softball field. They build a batting cage for us, and we have unlimited possibilities to get us back to that level. From my experience, like I said, for soccer practice, I believe fundamentals are key, and repetitions, especially in softball, are key for creating good habits. So for my goal for the softball season this year is we're going to start out with individual practices that allow for one-on-one feedback, and then we will transition to team practices later on, closer to our season. And then as well, the previous few years, there has not been a JV team. So I would like to encourage a lot of new students who maybe haven't played softball to give it a try. You know, I think it's important for Salesian to have a pipeline to the varsity program, to build the passion, build the fundamentals, and to allow for school spirit around that softball program. We have a couple students who would like to discuss spring sports. Shania, would you like to discuss golf?
Sure. My name is Shania, and I'm a junior this year. And so last year was my first time playing golf, and I was very welcomed into it. And I was never made to feel like I couldn't excel in the sport over time, but instead I was helped by our golf coach, Coach Julian. And I was able to learn and execute what I learned from him at the golf course, which for us is Richmond Country Club. And so I just want to say, don't be scared to be a part of a sport you don't know much about, because we always welcome everyone to join any sport they'd like to join. And I'm super excited to continue to play golf, and happy that I started to play it in the first place, because I thought it wouldn't be fun, but it actually really is. So I hope you guys join.
Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa. I'm a senior this year, and I swim for Salesian in the spring. Something unique about our swim program is that the school doesn't actually have their own pool. So our team practices at Contra Costa College, which is like a 5-minute drive away. It's not that hard. And it's really fun. We do welcome, you don't have to be like a 10-year swimmer to be on the team. Like I swam ever since I was like 7, but I'm not the best, like trust me. And it's just a really great place to meet people and make friends. And our meets, like they give me so much serotonin just going as a team and cheering on for one another, and especially our relays. Like we always have a blast, have a fun time, and the parents are really supportive and always bring us snacks. So if you're interested in joining swimming and meeting new people and learning about the sport and getting better at it, I highly suggest it.
Hi everyone, my name is Dylan. I'm a senior. I've gotten the chance to play varsity boys volleyball since freshman year, and it really was one of my favorite experiences at Salesian. Growing up with an older sister who played volleyball, volleyball was in my life for pretty much as long as I could remember, and I really wanted to continue it during high school. But when I first entered Salesian, I definitely wasn't the best player out there, but through rigorous training, I was able to hone my skills as a setter. And I could say the exact same for everyone else on the team. I saw a lot of improvement every year in only like a 3 months time. And honestly, I think we're one of the better teams in the area. Yeah, I can't really say much about my junior year because it got cut short due to COVID. But during my sophomore year, we actually made it to the finals for NCS. And we did get second, but it was a really close and fun match, and I wouldn't change anything.
Okay, thank you very much. It was good to hear from you guys, as always. The kids kind of stole some of my thunder here. I just want to take a minute to talk a little bit about our facilities. Most of our sports are contested here on campus, but there are 3 that are held away. One is cross country. We compete out at Point Pinole, which is about 2.5 miles from school. As you can imagine, junior varsity cross country courses are 2.2 miles long. Varsity courses are 3.1 miles long. So we don't have 3.1 miles of track running around our campus. So we're very fortunate to have the opportunity to go and run out at Point Pinole. For swimming, we do swim at Contra Costa College, which is 1 mile away. We've swam there now for all 28 years that I've been at Salesian. And then, as Shania mentioned, our golf team plays at a wonderful facility, which is the Richmond Country Club, which has hosted PGA Tour events. So if you were to show up there, you'd see pictures of Ben Hogan and Sam Snead on the wall. We've had the Northern California CIF championships there. So it's an excellent facility, and our relationship with them has been wonderful. In addition to playing the rest of the sports on campus, it is sometimes necessary for us to move to larger venues, particularly for boys and girls basketball. So sometimes we have hosted games at Contra Costa College or even St. Mary's College for some of our bigger games, where we'll draw as many as 3,000 fans for these games. So, you know, being a part of the athletic program is extremely exciting. It's one of the real joys that I can say that I have in my life, in terms of just being the person that is responsible for kind of overseeing the organization. But really what I kind of like to think of myself as just kind of the number one fan. You know, I think probably the best part of my job is just getting the opportunity to get some sunflower seeds, go and watch a softball game, to go to the deck to watch the kids swim, you know, sit in the stands, watch our basketball teams win state championships. So it is a lot of fun to be a part of this program. So, you know, again, for all of you that are interested in Salesian College Preparatory, obviously among many, many extracurricular activities we have a wide variety of sports, and certainly they are available to all level and all caliber of athletes. We want to encourage everybody to come out and give it a shot. So I believe the next thing I want to talk about right before I turn it over back to Coach Mellis, in addition to excellent facilities, and I'll put our facilities up against anybody's, we also have a full-time athletic trainer here on campus. Her name is Liz Darr. So where you see ATC in parentheses there, that stands for Athletic Trainer Certified. And we've been very fortunate to have Liz with us. She's an outstanding trainer. So what that allows us to do is to have some point person at our various locations where we're competing. And during those games, to have someone evaluate, diagnose, and then treat injuries. So those can be as simple as, a cut to, potentially broken bone. Liz is there. She works in conjunction with Children's Hospital in Oakland. So we have a pipeline of excellent medical care providers that she can guide us and send us to. We're also very fortunate to have her teach what has become a very, very popular sports medicine class. So for those kids that work with Liz on the field, they'll often take her class to learn how to tape ankles and to do the various things that an athletic trainer does. She also teaches anatomy. So, that's one of the things that your sons and your daughters or young people, if you're watching this podcast as well, you're going to have an opportunity to be treated and taken care of by a professional. And that's something that we're very proud of and we're very happy to have. We have a weight room, which is here on campus as well, that is used by all of our different sports. So, we are very fortunate to have very good people, to have very good athletes. And so we want you to, to join our program. So thank you very much for taking the time to listen to me. I'd like to give it back to Coach Mellis. And thanks again for being with us today.
Thank you, Coach Nightingale. As I mentioned earlier, we've had a lot of athletes go on to further their athletic careers in college and beyond. In the last 20 years, there have been over 100 of our alumni student athletes play a college sport. You can see some of the pictures on your screen here of some of our more recent student athletes. You can see Coach Bradbury on there. And some of these athletes have gone on to play professionally as well. The picture in the bottom right corner in the Detroit Lions uniform is Javid Best. Javid played football and ran track at Salesian. As a senior, he won the state championship in the 100-meter dash. He went on to play football at Cal and in the NFL for the Detroit Lions. After his NFL career ended, he decided to go back to running track, and he has dual citizenship, not only in the US, but also for St. Lucia, which is where his father is from. So he actually trained and made the St. Lucia Olympic team in 2016 in Rio. And he actually got to run 2 lanes over from none other than Usain Bolt. We have a picture on the internet somewhere of him actually leading the race about halfway through before Usain Bolt turned on the burners and won the race. Of course, he's like the fastest human in the history of mankind. But anyway, we were really proud of Javid, and Javid actually came back last couple years to help coach football and track with Mr. Nightingale. So as Mr. Nightingale referred to, some of our student athletes come back and help, as Coach Bradbury is a good example, and many others as well. All right, so at this point, we're going to shift our focus to our clubs on campus. I would like to introduce Miss Licia Martin. She is, as I said earlier, our math teacher, and she is also our senior class moderator. And Miss Martin is a graduate of Salesian as well from the class of 2011. And she's going to talk about all of our numerous clubs. And here is Miss Martin.
Hello, thank you for that introduction, Coach Mellis. And yes, my name is Licia Martin from the class of 2011. I'm now a math teacher at Salesian, and I'm also moderator for lots of the clubs that we have on campus. I also am senior class moderator, so I'm very involved in all that's kind of going on at the school. And it's really great to see our students take on different leadership roles and really put whatever they're passionate about into these clubs and share it with the school community, which is a really awesome thing to see. As a student, I was involved in so many different clubs and even got a chance to start a club at Salesian. I started the Salsa Club with the help of Mr. Hogan, and now I moderate it with him, which is a fun thing that we do together now.
And it's a really easy thing to start a club at Salesian. As you can see, we have over 40 clubs, right? So we've got a lot of clubs, and as long as you're passionate about something, you find a teacher who will encourage that passion. We have so many teachers who have their own passions that they love to share with the students and to talk about. And a lot of these kind of interests are discovered in the classroom, and we're able to take that outside of the classroom and really grow those interests together. And so all a teacher has to do is, find a student that has something that they love to do, and they can start a club together and get others involved. Salesian, we follow this model, our oratory model of home, school, church, and playground. You'll hear a lot about that. And the clubs that we have really just embody all of that. So I can go on and on about clubs, but why don't we get some students to talk about some of the clubs that they have interest in. So we'll start with the cultural clubs. And these cultural clubs are a way to get students to share their culture with the entire student body, but also to learn about, different clubs. So let's start with Alyssa to get us going with cultural clubs.
Thank you, Miss Martin. So, hi, I'm back. My name is Alyssa, and I'm a co-president of API Club, which is the Asian Pacific Islander Club that we have at school. And as you can see in the bottom left, that's us at Club Fair last year. So this club mainly surrounds about embracing our culture as Asian Pacific Islanders. Most people would assume that a majority of us, or all of us, are Filipino, but no, we have IU, who was a past president last year. Up in the third picture on the top, she was Indonesian and would always perform at our annual assemblies, where we would come together and celebrate what our heritage has to offer. And our club actually celebrated our 25th anniversary. It was started by one of our members' dads when he was a student at Salesian, and it was really cool. We were able to actually celebrate it online because virtual school had just started, and we did this whole week-long celebration of 25 posts for the 25 years, and it was really cute. And it has helped me feel connected to my culture, because I actually don't speak Tagalog, and I've only been to the Philippines once or twice. So it's something where I took the initiative of stepping out and stepping up for who I am and where I come from. And it makes me feel really proud of being a Filipino American.
Hi, I'm back again. I'm going to be talking to you guys about Latino Club this time. So, as Ms. Martin said, we really do love to honor our oratory and the 4 different aspects of it. So, for Playground, a couple years ago, we actually brought in one of the artists from Coco, as I'm sure many of you guys know the movie. We actually brought in one of the main artists who actually drew Miguel himself based off of his son for our Hispanic Heritage Assembly for Hispanic Heritage Month. And for the religion part, the church, we always host our Virgen of Guadalupe masses every year. So we all take turns reading, and we have a nice procession for her. We usually have a mariachi band show up, and we all eat tamales in the residency. And it's just a really fun time. And like Alyssa said, it really brings us closer to our culture, and it makes me really proud to be a Latina.
Hello, so now I will be talking about Diversity Club. And as you can see, there are many different cultural clubs, but Diversity Club is kind of an all-encompassing club focusing on equality and inclusivity, not only of different cultures, but also of different religions, different gender identities, and etc. And it's a safe place for students of any background to be welcomed, to share their thoughts and experiences, to bond with others, and to educate themselves to help build inclusivity in our community.
Thank you so much to our students for sharing about their experiences with the cultural clubs.
I also would like to just add that with our cultural clubs, each club kind of has their own assembly that they do throughout the year, and that's how they get to share with the entire student body a lot of what they do within their clubs and educate others about their culture. And next we'll talk about service clubs. So we've got a lot of different clubs that go out into the community and help others, whether it's campus ministry, which is one of our bigger organizations where they have Project Santa every year. When I was a student, I was a part of campus ministry and helped organize that. And Project Santa is where we get students from the community, kindergartners from the community, who come to our campus and have just a day to celebrate. Students donate gifts that our students donate gifts that our kindergartners will then receive from Santa, which is usually one of our students. So it's a really, really fun event that we have, just to highlight one of those of our service clubs, but we have several. So we'll have the students kind of talk more about that. And we will start with Shania.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. So I'm one of the leaders of Student Ambassador Club. And in that last picture in the right corner, you can see us at interview day for the 8th graders. So through this club, us students have the ability to help out during events such as open house, 8th grade day, and as Coach Nightingale said in the beginning, the shadow program, which we also help out with. And I've noticed that it's very great for the incoming students to see things from a student's personal insight rather than just the teachers, because they definitely feel more comfortable seeing it that way. And it provides them with a chance to understand our view better and what they're going to see during their school year as well. So they always love to have a student leading them through many of the events. So it's really great to lead during that. And I encourage you to join the club.
Hi again, everyone. I'm in Secret Kindness Agents, and it's one of the newer clubs at Salesian. It was founded just last year, and its main goal is to spread positivity and help people in our school community. One of the things that sets us apart from other service clubs, I'd say, is that we operate completely anonymously. But I mean, I guess now that I'm talking to you about it, it's not entirely anonymous. But everyone has a code name that they go by when doing service projects, and they can be helping teachers, students, or just the whole school community. And the point is to show people the importance of a person's actions over their identity, and to show that kindness is something that should be unconditional instead of just seeking recognition for acts of kindness. And so we try to make people realize that they're just like not alone, that there's someone there that's got their back. And I think that's just one of the greatest feelings that you could share with another person. And I'm really glad that we have a club that does that.
Hi everyone, I'm back. So another club that does focus on service is our campus ministry team. If you were here for the previous webinar, this might sound similar, but our team is in charge of running and organizing and setting up all of our school-wide masses and prayer services, and we are actually really involved in putting our students up. Like, as you can see, 2 of our students are bearing the gifts in one of our masses. Others would minister Eucharist. And another event that Miss Martin mentioned was Project Santa, huge event that our club puts on. It takes lots of planning, and we end up doing this all for one day where kids of our community come in and experience a winter wonderland of their own that we provide for them. And they also leave with a gift that our own students from the student body donated and wrapped themselves. And we just love to embrace, like I said before, embracing the community and the family spirit, especially during Christmas time, where it is so essential to have that.
Hello. When I was a student at Salesian, I was in the Habitat for Humanity Club. Joining Habitat for Humanity was probably one of the best decisions I made in high school. We had the opportunity to go to New Orleans my senior year and help rebuild the homes that was devastated from Hurricane Katrina. Not only was it fun, we got to explore Bourbon Street and New Orleans, but we got to see the progress of the homes that we were building. not only do they travel throughout the nation, but Miss Mack, the math department chair and the club moderator, she finds service projects throughout the Bay Area, locally within Richmond and in the Bay Area. So it is an awesome club to join. It definitely ignited a community service passion in me. Throughout college, I continued doing community service, and then actually my first post-college internship, I was a community outreach intern. So it was an awesome club, and I encourage anyone interested in it to join it.
Thank you so much to our students and to Ms. Bradbury for sharing with us her experience with Habitat for Humanity. And next we have our entertainment clubs, which you'll see a lot listed here. And like I said earlier, if you have something that you're interested in, you're always more than welcome to start a club and share your interest with others. So that's why you see so many different clubs here, and we just keep adding to the list with new students that come through and have new interests that they want to share with the community. So let's go ahead and start again with Shania.
Thank you again, Ms. Martin. So I'm in a lot of these clubs, but hiking club is one of my favorites because it helps us relieve the stress from school, and we can just take the day off. Well, it's usually on weekends, but we can take the day off from homework and all that to go on a hike and visit nature and just relax, I guess. And we go to many different places in San Francisco, Richmond, anywhere we find a good place to hike, and we do that to relieve stress. So I encourage you to join that too.
Hello again. I'm going to be talking about two clubs, Jamland and Drama Club. First, I'm going to talk about Jamland. So that's pretty much a club where we just listen to music, play music, and just appreciate music as a whole. And if you love listening or playing, I strongly recommend joining this club. The next club I want to talk about is Drama Club. As you guys, we have a really great drama department, and you don't have to have experience in acting or anything. Drama Club is pretty much where you can help the drama department, like backstage or selling tickets to our productions. And so if you enjoy music or just musicals, plays, or the arts in general, I strongly recommend joining these clubs.
Hi, I'm back again. For the club I'm going to be talking about, Adulting 101, who's actually moderated by Miss Martin and Miss O'Hare. It's pretty much just a club that really teaches you the things you need to be an adult that like you wouldn't really learn in school. So for our first meeting, they showed us how to make a resume, like what to include in there, how to format it, websites to do it. And then on Thursday, we just had a meeting on how to prepare for a job interview, like what to wear, questions to ask, all of that. So it's really going to be a good club if you really want to get ahead of what you need to know like after college. And I already know that it's going to help me because, you know, we got to get our job sooner or later. And those two meetings are really going to help me. So there you go.
Hello again. I'm going to be talking about Board Games Club, and it's just a fun club where we get together during lunch and play board games together. And it's just really fun to get to know new people and to learn new board games as well, and to just have a good time together.
Hi again. I'd just like to add on and briefly talk about the math and robotics clubs. To start off, I am the founder and president of the math club, as well as the co-president of the robotics club. In the math club, we have these friendly monthly competitions. We offer tutoring services after school, and we have a huge school-wide event in March for Pi Day. And for robotics, we do a lot of things, but one of the biggest things we do with robotics is participate in an annual robotics competition hosted by UC Berkeley called Pi. And during this 3-month-ish long competition, we compete against dozens of other high schools in the Bay Area. And every year, there's a new kind of theme or objective. And based on that, we have to build and program our own robot from scratch and just put it to the test against the other schools' robots. And I think it's a really cool competition because we actually get to personally work with UC's Berkeley's students and staff. And so in a way, we kind of get like an early college experience. And it also forces us to work as a team because you can't just have like one person carry the whole team and do everything, you know. You really have to cooperate with each other. And through that, I was able to make a bunch of new friends. Luckily, our team worked really well together, and we were actually able to win first place for the entire competition during my sophomore year. And so overall, I think these clubs do a really good job of preparing me for the future because, well, I do want to major and have a career in computer science, but if that doesn't apply to you specifically, that's okay. If you plan to have a career in STEM or if you're maybe just thinking about it, we have so many opportunities outside of the classroom for you to grow and be prepared for.
Hi again, everyone. Another club that I'm a part of is that I'm the co-president of JSA Debate Club. And just so you know, JSA stands for Junior State of America. Pretty simple. Our club surrounds the idea of debate and getting better at arguing and civil discourse appropriately. So most meetings occur just about every 2 weeks, I'd say. And we debate about, sometimes it could be silly topics, sometimes it could be serious ones that relate to the world around us, because that's always important to know. But like our first meeting was about which genre of music is best, and we've also had debates about Fridays versus Saturdays, and it is a great way to know how to engage in civil discourse appropriately and to just debate for fun, I'd say. And we actually had our last meeting last Thursday was about the upcoming election, which is really important, as you may know. And we learned about California's propositions and then the different political parties going about and their ideas and beliefs, and just open discussion about our current world, because it's so important to stay involved in what we are in today and be catalysts for change soon, and talk about that because we're the new generation and we're eventually obviously going to be up there, and these issues are going to be important to us. So that's all I'd like to say.
Hi everyone. I'll be talking to you about two clubs. So first up, Film Club. It's one of the clubs at the school that just it mainly does one big project for the whole year every year, and it's to make a sort of mini movie that's presented at one of our masses in front of the bishop of the Oakland diocese. And if he likes the video, I mean, the videos are always awesome, so he always likes it, but he based off like the video, he can give us vacation day, like extra vacation days throughout the year. And being in the club, it's just really fun because you honestly kind of get a sense of almost what it's like to be on a real movie set, because you act, you direct, you write the script, you do all this. And so it just, in the end, it just feels really awesome to see you and your ideas on a big screen, like, and you're just watching it with all your friends. It's great. And the second club is called The Tabard. It's a literary magazine that is released every year. And so it works in cooperation with the creative writing class. And it showcases the poems, short stories, and art pieces of Salesian students that were made throughout the year. And because writing and drawing aren't really considered performance arts, it's really great that people who are still passionate about them have a chance to share their talents with the rest of the school. And I love writing, and this is my first year working on the Tabard. So it's really cool to see poems and stories that my friends and I have worked on, like actually published. And that's just an amazing feeling to me. So if you're interested in film, if you're interested in writing, just like kind of any, both, visual arts, literary arts, I highly recommend joining those two clubs.
Thank you again to all of the students. I couldn't have talked about these clubs better than myself. They, are so passionate about what they do. And you may have noticed that we heard from a lot of students repeatedly. And so you may ask yourself, how are these kids involved in so many different clubs? And, they for sure have to learn time management, which is an excellent skill to have going on into adult life. But since we have such a variety of clubs, some clubs focus on one big project where they have to dedicate a lot of time. Some clubs just meet every other week at lunchtime. And so it's a nice kind of way to decompress during the school day. So because we have such a great variety, it allows students to pick and choose and really try things out. If they don't really feel they have something that they're passionate about, they can try as many as they like until they find what it is that they really truly love and want to dedicate their time to. And so once again, thank you to all of our students. And I'm going to pass it along to Mr. Mellis now to finish up our presentation here.
All right. Well, I don't know if you can hear me or not. Maybe there's something going on with my computer here. Sorry, we're living in the world. Okay, they can hear me, sorry. Something's going on with my computer here, and it is a webinar, and we are living in this tech world. So it is what it is. I don't think my camera's on, but it's not working right now. So I just want to say that there's been some questions that have been coming in during the webinar, and I know we're running a little bit long on time here, but we do want to ask one quick question, and that's going to be for Ms. Martin, and that question is, how are teachers, parents, and families involved in extracurricular activities? So Ms. Martin, if you could answer that.
Sure. So since we do have such a variety of clubs, there's so many ways for families to get involved. I can say for the salsa club, we have field trips where we go to different salsa classes, and oftentimes our students bring their families along and they do the classes together. Some clubs like the science club do actual international travel. And so there's ways to get everyone involved with that. Alumni who are really passionate about the clubs that they join as students are always coming back to help out, especially for those clubs that have big events, big community events. We get students who, alumni who come back and help out with those events or check out the events. And it's fun to check in with a lot of our alumni who were leaders at Salesian, and then I hear about them going on and running for, student body government in college or starting their own community organizations from the skills that they learned within the clubs here at Salesian. And then they like to come back and help students to grow in those skills. And Adulting 101 is another club that I moderate that Natalia mentioned. And we like to bring back our alumni to talk about what it's like being in the real world and different skills that they've learned along the way that they like to share with the students.
All right, thank you, Ms. Martin. There were a handful of questions that came in today. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to all of them. We are running a little bit long, but if yours was not answered, or if you have any questions that come up later on, please feel free to email any of the presenters from today's webinar or from our admissions team. Here are all of the email addresses of everyone that you heard from today, from the adults, the teachers, and admissions team. Well, this brings us to the end of our open house series webinar for athletics and clubs. We'd like to thank you for joining us today. This also completes our entire open house webinar series. Just so you know, today's webinar will also be available to view again later this week on our school website, salesian.com, under the admissions section, as well as all of our previous webinars that were held in past weeks. If you'd like to visit our campus or learn more about our school, please visit our website, salesian.com, and you can also follow us on all of our social media platforms. Thank you again for joining us today. We hope that you enjoyed our presentation, and we hope to see you again very soon. Take care.